Hi, and welcome to this short 4-minute overview of my teamwork presentation called TEAM, T-E-A-M. Now, you might have the best team members and staff members around you, and certainly in sports terms, you can have the best players in a team, but it doesn't always guarantee you success. How many times have you seen your favorite sports team struggling, not achieving at all? Along comes a new leader who brings in the whole teamwork ethic, and guess what? The identical players are now winning every single game. What has happened is a good teamwork ethic has come in and has bound them together. So success in business and in sport is more about teamwork than it is about the individuals as such. And this applies whether you have a team of 3 people or up to 30,000. So here then is a quick look at what T, E, A, and M stand for in my presentation. T is for trust, and it comes from a book called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni, in which he says you have to establish trust in order to get honesty out from the team members. And you want honesty in team meetings. You want to solve the problems and the issue and grow each other and not avoid the issues, the things that can build you and make you successful. In which case the meetings become boring. You get resentment from people who realize that they're not going in the right direction. And then, of course, you get manipulation. So how do you build trust, and how do you create an area where vulnerability is okay? Share more of who you are on a personal sense. Maybe once a month at a team meeting, a little bit about background, where you grew up, your family, etc. Because once we have a connection with people, we're far less likely to take advantage of them. And once you have trust and healthy conflict, then it's a lot easier to get to commitment. Commitment is not about having to agree with everything. It's about being heard. And I always find if I'm heard and the others go a different route, I'll go with them. But if you don't hear me out and don't hear what I've got to say, then it's going to be very, very difficult to get my commitment. So based on that trust, we get healthy conflict and commitment. That is T. E in TEAM is for effectiveness. You've got to have collective goals and the correct collective goals to be effective. Now, for example, in soccer terms, football terms, if you want to score goals, and that's your collective goal, to be scoring the whole time, you will get a team that scores goals. But you will probably find the team concede more than they score and they lose. Now, clearly that isn't the collective goal that you really want. So one has to be sensible about those goals and then stretch that target. So Alex Ferguson, when he first arrived at Manchester United, said, I want the club to be more successful than Liverpool. It was a massive ask. United had won 6 titles or thereabouts, Liverpool 18. In 2011, Sir Alex Ferguson got Man United's 19th league title to surpass Liverpool. It seemed an outrageous aim at the time, and yet he's achieved it. But within weeks, Man United lost to Barcelona in the European Champions final, a great Barcelona side. And Alex Ferguson, instead of afterwards coming in and saying his team weren't good on the day and all the excuses, he simply said, we lost to a much better team, well done to Barcelona, and now we know what we have to achieve. We have to be better than Barcelona. He immediately stretched his target right up to now be the best team in the world. That is E for effectiveness. A in TEAM is for accountability. Your goals have been agreed. Now each person must have a clear responsibility and be accountable to that outcome. But don't limit the scope. Have what I call valued responsibility. Not just responsible, but valued responsibility. So they know they can go a little bit further if they have to, take opportunities if they have to. So if, for example, it's Ryan Giggs playing on the left for Manchester United. It's his position, but the manager allows him to come in and change his scope, come into the center of the pitch and try and score there. So you give your team members a little bit more of that responsibility, what I call valued responsibility. And M is for motivation, and you've got to build motivation. But it comes from 2 possible sources: intrinsic, which is inside, about making you feel good about what you're doing, or extrinsic, which is the ego, me, take notice of me. Clearly, if you go the ego route, you're not going to have a bound team, a team that works together. You've got to have players and staff members who put the team before themselves, those who focus on the intrinsic. And how to create it? By the words the team uses. Is to use more of us and we and together as opposed to I and me. And you just listen to those words and you just try and change them very gently in team meetings, because if you change the words, you not only change the outcome, you change the intentions, and slowly the whole group will begin to think and act differently. So that in summary is my TEAM presentation. I give certain takeaway skills, which you'll have to find out by getting me to speak. so that when the group go away, they know exactly what they have to do to achieve in each of those 4 areas. And I can guarantee you one thing. If you apply these teamwork principles to your team, you will be more successful.